One of the question or one of the important question that people tend to ask when they want to acquire or when they want to purchase a property is, what documents am I getting? Especially for you as a first time buyer, you really need to know the most important document of them all. Hi, my name is Ruth, and if this is your first time of coming across my channel, you're welcome. Do well to subscribe as I will be bringing to you real estate tips, listing, especially here in Nigeria. Now, for this particular video, I will be focusing on the most important document when purchasing or buying a property. Guess what that document is? It is the deed of assignment. Now, this is one of those videos that you don't have to skip because I'll be taking my time to explain to you what deed of assignment really is, or literally what I fully understand about deed of assignment. That at the end of this video, you'll be able to know what valid and legal deed of assignment is. You should be able to know some certain mistakes that you should avoid concerning deed of assignment, and as well some professional tips in drafting full proof of deed of assignment. Now, what is deed of assignment? Deed of assignment is a valuable document that states the transfer of ownership from the owner to the buyer through sales. Let me repeat that again. It is a valuable document that states the transfer of ownership from the owner, which is the seller, to the buyer through sales. Please take note of the word through sales, which means it can be called deed of assignment when there is no sales involved, when it's not about buying, when it's not about purchase. There should be an exchange of money to ownership, then it can be called deed of assignment, which also implies that deed of assignment can sometimes be called or can sometimes come as deed of sublease, deed of conveyance, or transfer. Now, let me quickly chip this in. In a situation where you own land, or in a situation where someone gives you a property through gift, you own a land, you own a house, you own a property through gift, the documentation you will be getting won't be titled, won't be stated as deed of assignment, because you didn't buy the property to own it, because you didn't purchase that property, it was gifted to you. Now let's talk about the legal requirement for deed of assignment in Nigeria. It is not just about drafting a document, printing it out, and then calling it deed. No, it is important that legal steps, legal procedures, legal requirements are being followed. If not, that deed is as good as worthless. It is more just like a document without fulfilling what it is meant to, and doesn't prove any ownership. Neither does it fit the purpose of that document legally. Now let's dive right into the body of this topic. What should a valid deed of assignment contain? What should a valid deed of assignment contain? Number one. So the front cover of the deed of assignment should identify the parties involved, which is usually the two parties involved are the assignor and the assignee. The assignor is the seller, while the assignee is the buyer. Now note, when you're filling the form, when you're filling as a buyer, when you're filling that form of deed of assignment, make sure that the name, arrange the name in order of how it is in your official forms, so it won't cause matter arising in the future. As well as if you want to buy it with your business name as a business entity, arrange the name as the name you registered in your business document. Just as the name is being registered in your business document, is the same way you have to arrange it in the form. All right. Number 2 is the section of the recital. You should be able to state the history of the land. You should be able to state how the assignor, that's the owner, the seller of the land, how he or she got the ownership of the land, who or the family he bought it from. The recital section should be able to state all that. Number 3 is clear description of the property being transferred. Now, the property should be clearly described in the deed of assignment. Those descriptions are often gotten from the survey identification. Price of the property should be stated clearly, because that's what makes it a deed of assignment. Purchase, it was bought. So the price should be stated clearly that you bought so a property, 4-bedroom detached duplex or fully detached, or so square meters of land was bought for this so amount, because that's literally what makes it a deed of assignment. It was purchased, it was bought. All right, remember definition of deed of assignment. So it is important that the price, the amount, is stated in the deed of assignment. Number 5 is a very detailed owner of right and root of title of assignor. This section explains how the assignor, which is the seller, gets the property. If he also bought it, or he inherited it, or he got it as a gift. Because in a property law, there is something called root of title, which means ownership must be clearly stated, because you can't give what it is not yours. You can't give what you don't own. So it must belong to you before you can be able to sell it out or probably give it out. Let me quickly give you a good scenario of this root of title. Number 5. Someone might buy a property from the daughter of the owner of the property. To you, you may just have the lame knowledge that, oh, the mother owns the property, but you don't have the legal knowledge that the daughter is not in the legal position to single-handedly sell that property to you. For you, you're just aware, oh, the family owns this land, or the mother owns this land, or the father owns this land. But if you don't have that legal knowledge that she cannot single-handedly just sell that property to you just because she has the document. Because the mother or whatever name is in that document as the rightful owner, as the root title, can come tomorrow and say, you're stealing my land, you stole my land, or this land doesn't belong to you. I bet you when you go to the court, you are likely to lose that case, because the person that sold the land to you, the person that signed on the land, is not the legal owner of that land. That's why it's important to know, to have knowledge of all these things before you fully commit in buying that property. Or if you've already gotten some property like this, I would advise you to go back and do some legal check on that document they gave you and begin now to do necessary adjustments if possible. Now, number 6, legal clause to transfer of ownership. Number 7 is agreement or promise by both parties, which is the seller and the buyer. Number 8 is indemnity and undertaking clauses. This is where the seller states all the necessary offers or help he or she will be giving to the buyers, such as maybe provision of amenities or acquiring of all for that particular land and the rest. So number 9 is signature of both parties, the buyer and the seller, as well as the witness. The witness here we're talking about is not the person witnessing the land, is the witness of signature. the person that is witnessing the signature that says, oh, I know the buyer, I know the seller. This is the name of the buyer, this is the name of the seller signing. Number 10 is lawyer's signature, seal, and details. Of course, without the lawyer's signature, without the lawyer's seal, it is not legal. What makes it legal is when it passed through the court, when a professional lawyer prepares it for you, and of course there it passes through stages in their organization to make sure that it is free from mistakes, to make sure that it is also in accordance to the law, and a stamp is being placed on it with a signature. With this being done on the document, we can say yes, this has gone through legal process and it is now a legal deed of assignment. Now let's take a look at the common mistakes that people make or overlook when it comes to the deed of assignment documentation. Number 1 is when property is not accurately described. One cannot transfer ownership of what you can't effectively describe. This is where survey plan comes to play. It plays a very, very good key role. Gone are those days when we describe land with just landmark. Now with the survey plan, you can vividly tell that this is where the land is. There should be an accurate description of where the land is with the use of survey. Another mistake that people make is omitting important terms and conditions. Number 3 is make sure that the entire transaction is formalized legally. Number 4 is unclear history of title. Number 5 is lack of clarity in language. There are some legal terms that they may use. If you don't understand a particular statement, if you don't understand a particular section, it is good, it is wise for you to call the attention of the seller or call the attention of your lawyer. I don't understand this thing. Please explain to me in a layman language, explain to me in a better term that I will understand. So you'll be aware of what you're signing, you'll be aware of what you're going into. It is your hard-earned money that you worked for. So it is important that you safeguard it and protect it. Now, what are the benefits of a well-drafted deed of assignment? Number 1 is acceptance in the court of law as a proof of ownership. Trust me, it won't be funny if problem arise tomorrow, which we don't pray for, and you find out that your document, deed of assignment in quote, is not well drafted, is not legally well drafted. Trust me, it might be too late for you to start running up and down to amend, to adjust, to correct many mistakes. So thank God you come across this channel today, that you've acquired many, let me just say few, many knowledge about how a good legal deed of assignment should be or should look like. Number 2 is that you get to have a peace of mind to know that yes, what I have is legally obtained. Yes, what I have is legally secured. You can as well pass it to your grandchildren, to your children, to the next generation to come as well. In all you do, don't forget to get a professional lawyer, a knowledgeable person to help you look into certain documents to be sure that yes, you are on the right track. You are acquiring the land, the house, that property legally through the right way, doing your due. These are part of the things we call doing your due diligence. So thank you for staying tuned to this very moment. I'm sure you've acquired lot of knowledge about deed of assignment. Do well to share this video and also to like it so that other people will benefit from it. See you in my next video where we'll be sharing more tips about real estate. Till I see you again, take care.